seen this kind of love before.
The program you're about to watch contains stories of real people. Today, as you watch, expect to be inspired, transformed, and healed. Welcome to Peculiar Moments Global, where every moment is supernatural. Your love story is next.
My name is ROY CLINTSON, and I am live on the spotlight of the Peculiar Moments Global, and this is my love impact story. Alright, so God has been faithful, God has been good, God has been so good to me, and everything about my life has always been God. Like I keep telling people that I'm a product of grace. I'm a product of grace, God's grace and divine favor from men and all of that. Because going through my life, when I look back and I try to analyze a lot of things, I know that if it is by qualification, I wouldn't be where I am today. I know I'm not where I'm heading to, where I'm supposed to be, but at the same time, I wouldn't have gotten to this point on my own without the grace of God and favor from men. I'm one who celebrates positive energy and positivity. I hardly talk about negative stuff and all of that, and that is because I have come to acknowledge the fact that God is on my case. I remember a particular incident that happened sometime in 2020, in September 15, 2020. I was kidnapped, right? I was kidnapped. The whole thing, how it happened was funny, very, very funny. So my journey has been just God helping me. How I went to school from the village. I'm a village boy. I used to say it. I'm a village boy. A proud Abua boy from Ogunokon community. How I ended up schooling in Ghana from the village has been called, because at some point things became so rough for my family. Not that rough though, but to some extent it was rough, and God did his thing. God took me, just like the case of Joseph, how God took him from this point. Things like life just happens, circumstances, situations. One incident led to the next one, and all of that. That is how it was for me, migrating from one stage to the other. So from Bayelsa, where I grew up, I ended up in the village. Then from the we got to stay back in the village because we couldn't afford paying for fees while I was in school, like my primary school and all of that. Ended up in the village. From the village, I got a scholarship, ended up in Ghana, school in Ghana. After schooling, came back to Port Harcourt. Now, while I was in Ghana, God came through. How I was there, I got to know a whole lot about photography, in the media, find myself in the media space, find myself in church. But how God made it that my roommate was a pastor, and how I ended up in the church, working in the church, was all God. And while I was there, God molded me, God built me. The same way Joseph ended up in the prison and God molded it. That was how it was for me. While I was there, I find myself working in the media department, working in the drama department, I became the head of media and all of that. Then when I came back to Nigeria after school, came back to Port Harcourt, my local church here in Port Harcourt, where I came back to resume, almost all the positions I held back in school, in the church there, were restored to me back here. Like, the pastor didn't know all of this, but everything just happened to show that it was all God. Then, where I am today in the media space was a training I acquired while I was in church that was never planned. It was just one coincidence, me finding myself in different situations, and everything helped build me. So those skills have been what has been sustaining me all this while. And it was the same thing that the devil came to steal. So that fateful day, 15 September 2020, I was working for a popular comedian in Port Harcourt, Scale Baba. Then we were doing some concert called Gospel Gang Party also. So I was supposed to do a job for him that day, but I was working on a particular job for an Abia State government official. So the man was supposed to go to Abuja on a Saturday, the following day. So I was supposed to deliver his job for him so he can go with it. So while I was there working, I got this call. So the person called. I said, "Hello, are you Roy?" "Yes." "You are into graphics?" I say, "Yes." "Okay, please, I would love you to come to Igrita, come to and do some, I need you to do a graphics for me." I said, "Okay, sir, but I'm quite busy and I'm occupied now. Can we do this thing tomorrow? Or probably send it to me, to my mail, and I will attend to it." And I was like, no, I need you to come around because I need to take measurements and all that. Okay, in my head, being a business person, as I hear measurements, I was like, okay, since it has to do with measurement, that means it's a big project, right? But I was like, okay, I'm still quite busy now. Can we do it tomorrow? And I was like, no, we need it urgently and all of that. The call kept coming, and all of that. So at the end of the day, I find myself at Igrita. From Igrita, I was directed to take a bike, go to another community. Like play. If I know, I find myself in the forest. I was surrounded with bikes, with guns, and all of that in the forest, thick forest. How it happened, I've given up. They collected my phone, took some monies around with me. I had my laptop then. And that same laptop was a laptop I was using while I was in school for the church. I was using it as the media for the media work. So the only prayer I know I pray. Then I had confessed my sins already. I don't give up. I don't surrender. The only thing I was like, try. My mother don't know where I did. What did this one? I've given up already. So the only prayer I made then was like, God, this laptop I be they use to work for you that year. So funny enough, I was I was working at where I was coming from. So I had my laptop already. I was like, okay, I will just see them from there, go to the house and all that. So but I was hanging it. How they did not collect the laptop from me, the laptop back from me it's a mystery on its own. So I was like, okay. So while I made that prayer, they've come. So one of them just came to me. I was like, what's in your name? I told him my name. Where are you from? I said, Port Harcourt, Rivers, okay, see. I find small young guy, this guy. And then I had one innocent face then. That's small for you. So the person will send us commercially say, "Mo do you bad thing." But waiting go happen. You go follow us. When you don't enter, just tell them. They were just trying to make me feel comfortable and all of that and follow them. So they came with bikes, carried on his bike. So they asked me to join their bike and go to their camp and all of that. So I had already entered the bike with them. One of them sat beside me, behind me. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The bike refused to start at that point. While inside the forest, thick forest, the bike refused to start. I was like, okay, well. Then the other guy now jumped down to go check the bike. There were other bikes behind us. So he just came down for the guy so he can push the bike. And no, I can't tell what came on me to just jump down from that bike. How I jumped down from that bike and took off into the forest I knew nothing about. But you see how when I say God know how He works, God see sometimes things happen to us and we are like, God why? But we forget that everything happened like preparations. The same way God prepared Joseph while he was in prison, from prison to this place, from this place, that was it. So God know why my family had to struggle in Bayelsa and we have to end up in the village. For me to have some training in the village, for me to know how to run inside the bush because I went to the farm. So I didn't have those skills or those knowledge of running inside that forest, I wouldn't have escaped that forest that day. So sometimes things happen to God to us and we think it's God just being unfair and all, overlooking us and all. But everything is for a reason. I ran inside that forest, like forest where I don't know. And how I ran, I escaped those guys and made it out. And life is all God. Should I talk about how I was robbed? So in my field of my profession, photography is what I do, and God has been faithful to me. God has been so faithful. It's not as if Nami snap pass or Nami do pass, right? But any small image I take, I'll just come on and see people posting about it. Right, this. So, with all these things come some attraction, both the positive and the negative ones and all of that. So, my deeds caught the attention of Mr. Fonny, Sabinus, and he gifted me money to buy a camera. Initially, he wanted to gift me a phone, an iPhone, but I told him I already have an Android phone. If you can just convert the worth of the iPhone and give me, I will add up money and buy a camera because it's photography I want to do. Then I said, how much is this camera? I told him he sent me money to buy the camera. On the 9th of September, this September month, 9th of September 2023, I was in Aba, bought new camera, in the Canon, a Nikon camera, bought new camera. I saved up money, bought other equipment as well. So I came back on the 10th of September. I had a job on the 10th, so I went for the job. I also hired lenses and other equipment, because the money could only get a camera body, not without the lens. You know how expensive things are these days. So I came back, went for that event. So I bought the camera on Saturday, went to the event on a Sunday, and I was robbed. I was stabbed. Everything, the camera lenses, everything. But at the end of the day, we've heard of situations where all those things happen and people die. But I was stabbed, I didn't die. God still spared my life. And I went back home that day and I was like, well, thank God for life. Like they always say, as long as there's life, there's hope. So this is me just saying, God has been there for me. God has always been there for me. God has always come through for me. God has always intervened in my situation. God keep projecting me. You see, little things. How I keep seeing how I'm loved. I won't lie to you. In as much as there are people that hates me, that don't like me, but I see how people come through for me. People come through for me. People love me. It's not because I'm a good person or without stain. I have my fault. I did do bad things very well, but God just have a way of coming through for me, because, like I always say, it's all God's grace. And my life, everything about me has been God. My name is ROY CLINTSON. I'm a photographer who loves telling stories. Thank you.
Do you remember how it felt when you found yourself in a deep mess? When all hope was lost and all doors seemed shut? When friends were few and tears replaced laughter? When the money was out and luck lingered? When sickness ravaged your body and you envied those who could sleep? When your words were few and all you could do was stare? When fear ravaged your heart and depression ate deep into your soul? Did you ever make it through? Did God turn it around for good? Let someone experience love, hope, joy, impetus for action, help through your story. Be loud about your victory and be someone's light today.
I've never seen this kind of love before. I've never seen this kind of God before. Who I be where you love me, so tell you came to die for me on the cross. Oh, I searched and searched and searched, no God like this. I've tried and tried and tried, no love like this. So